Okay, so obviously we want to go to the STC website first, and then you want to go to the top and click on the library, and it should take us there. Okay. So then we get to the main page, and we have these online services right here. I'm going to zoom in. We have everything: books, databases, journals, ebooks, audio, etc. So we're going to start with databases, and we're going to go look at the popular ones. We're going to do by subject first. So then we have our general ones, our citations, we have newspapers, current events. We're going to look at our general research databases and kind of look at some of the main ones. So if you look at Hein Online, this is congressional documents, things like that. Legal research would be here. And then if we go look at one file, we have economics, education, environment, health, humanities, law, literature. It's under general for a reason. It has a lot of different things. So if you don't know where your angle is going to be yet, this would be a good place to start. It also has politics and science and general interest, which I don't know what that even means. And if you look at this one, you have more humanities, law and literature, art, social sciences, current events, but it still has computers and economics. And then if we look at expanded academic ASAP, of abstracts from the full text. So make sure that when you're looking for things, you're looking for a full text, though. You're not just reading the abstracts, okay? Make sure it says full text PDF somewhere on it, not just the abstract. The abstract is what tells you what the article is going to be about, okay? So we want to make sure that that's not what you're using as your source. And then we have for your academic search primer, natural sciences and stuff. And then this one gives you access to other libraries. Go back to library up here, or we can go to databases by subject. So we'll go back to that. Okay, so then up here we have all guides by subject, by type, and then we get subjects here. So we have business, current events, dictionaries and encyclopedias, education, newspapers, social sciences. Okay. And then if we go by subject, okay, showing two subjects. Like, what does that mean? So we go click on the two, citations and general research. All right, so let's go back to our library page, our main page. As you are back here, I'll go back to our databases, A to Z. Okay, so under each tab, so there's academic 1 file, it's physical sciences, technology, medicine, social sciences, humanities. Then we have science, news, and research updates under Access Science, biography, if you need to know about a person, fact finder, basic kind of demographics. We have B, we have biomedical, we have business, we have Boston Globe for a newspaper. C, criminal justice, things like that you might need depending what it is. Culinary arts, which I don't know why you need that, but look at D. All we have there is dentistry, but if you're doing a paper on dentistry. E, top one there has a lot of information. EBSCO, okay. We have environmental studies, expanded academic ASAP. For F, G, we have that general 1 file that we looked at already. Global Edge just has like obviously things on a global scale, global issues and context. So if we're looking for something and how it's going on in the world, you might want to go to that database to see how things are different in different countries or affecting things globally. H, we're going to have a lot of health stuff primarily, okay? So if you're doing anything in the medical field, H is one of the ones that you'd want to be going to. I, we get nothing. J, we have JSTOR, which is going to be important for your English classes. It's all the literature things. K doesn't have a lot that you're going to need. L, we have the Library of Congress and also the Literature Resource Center, so again for English papers. And we're going to have a lot of medical stuff again. Some marketing stuff. And we're going to have nursing and newspapers. So we have the New York Times there, and then you just have a newspaper source which checks newspapers all around the country. Then O, we have opposing views, which we're going to look at afterwards. P, physical therapy, psychology, science. No Q. R, we have religion and philosophy, and then business. So if you're writing something on how faith affects things or people's ethics or beliefs affect things, that's a good place to start. S, insights, we have a lot of science stuff here. Then we have the whole catalog, but you can't go to the library, so that's a waste of time for you. T is teacher references, U is the U.S. history. In context, we have the global in context, that's U.S. in context. W is world cat. In world history in context, we have U.S. history in context, world history in context, and global events in context. And then we have YouTube in your dictionary, which you can get at Google. Alright, so just you can go through those if you have an idea of kind of what you're looking for. So if we scroll down, we go to subject guides. This can bring you to things by kind of what you're studying. So if you need something specific for your class, you might want to just go here. If you're taking a sociology class, click there, and that'll kind of take you through some stuff for that. They recommended databases, so if you don't want to go through the ABCs and look at them all, you can just go here and say, okay, well, this is the field I'm looking into, so what's a good database? Okay, this one says this. So you're going to have to click in before you can look into anything. So you'll put your student ID number on the back of your card in, your student ID number in, which is also your library card. If it's not working, call the library. They're there during regular hours. And then obviously your password, which if you haven't set it yet, is your last name in all caps. Alright, so once you're in, we're going to the psychology and behavioral science collection. So we have different fields here. You can go up to 3. Okay, you can also change those ands to ors if you want it to not include everything in the search, but one thing or another. So let's do adolescents, but we'll expand it. So look at their suggestions. I'm going to do adolescents or teenagers or young adults. So any of those would be acceptable for my search. And then we'll do anxiety. We're in a psychology database, so we want to make sure it's relevant to what we're looking at. And then social media. Okay, let's see what we get. So hit search. Also know that we go through and we start looking at things. So we have digital age, fact spheres, and future directions. That's actually the one we used. Cyberbullying. So this is a good place if you have a general topic that you're looking at. Say, I know I want to write about this, but I don't know what angle I want. Sometimes letting the research help direct your paper is better than having a set idea going in, because then you're getting stressed out looking for, oh, I can't find anything to support this. So going and seeing what's out there in the general field and going, oh, well, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting too. I wonder if there's a connection there. And just kind of seeing what's there and helping that guide the direction at the beginning instead of having your direction. Okay, so we clicked on an article. And we want to look at, we have the authors at top. The title is not held locally, which means that we don't have it. So we can't do that. But if we did have it, we wanted to cite it, we go over to that cite thing, and it'll give us the different citations for our works cited list. Just make sure you're scrolling down until you get to MLA, okay, for this class. For sociology and psychology papers, it's usually going to be APA, sometimes it's Chicago, okay? But for our purposes, we're using MLA. So just make sure you're going through the MLA citation before you copy it. Alright, so say we didn't find anything, we're like, oh, okay, that's all interesting, maybe we made some notes of some things that are going on, but we we don't see anything that stuck out. So maybe I want to look at adolescent anxiety and something else instead of that. I'm recording the audio separate from the video, so I'm just like, oh wow, I really spent a long time with my cursor just sitting in the box. Okay, so then we're going to type in family and structure and see how that affects it, and see what kind of results I get there. So now we start looking down. Okay, prevalence behavior problems, importance of connectedness, asthma and major depressive. Maybe I want to see if there's, a physical and psychological connection to things. Like I said, going through and seeing what the databases have in them in the general area of what you think you want to write your paper about is going to be really helpful to you coming up with a new idea, and not just regurgitating information that you find, but making connections that aren't already made, okay? Because you want your papers to be original. So then we look at treatments. Maybe I can figure out what treatments are working, why or why aren't they working, what could be a better treatment, and so I start looking at what kind of treatment things there are already. So evidence based on treatment early childhood. See, that has adults in it, so we don't want that because we're focusing on adolescents. So then, maybe we want to look at youth and autism and how that's related to it. So we go down again, and this title is not legally held. This can be really frustrating, but that's part of the research of a research paper. Is a lot of times you're going to hit dead ends, and you're just going to have to be creative. So say we go back, so that I can try and find something that we actually do have to show you. So go back to subject. Actually, let's go back to library. You can just search in keywords in general, and that can bring you all of the different types of media. So that'll bring me books and databases and journals. It'll bring me everything, okay? So I'm putting adolescents in, except I can't spell right now. As you can see, let's just let it fill it in for me. There we go. It's early. And then we want to click advanced search to be more specific. It looks the same as the one we just did for the database. Okay, so we're going to put in adolescents. Put anxiety, this time we'll put disorders with it. And treatment outcomes. You're going to want to try different keywords over and over again. Slight variations can bring you different results, all right? So you want to become a search master, all right? Which you should be able to do. You guys should be Google experts. All right, so then we're looking at, okay, school-based CBT, outcomes of bipolar, cognitive behavioral. We've got a lot of CBT going on here, so let's see, we've made a connection there, and then we see it again in children or in adolescents, randomized control trial, the online attention, internet-based. So do we want to see if internet-based treatment can work? Is that where we want to do with adolescence and anxiety versus in person? That could be an angle. All right, so let's look for something different here. So, actually, no, let's not do that. Don't write a research paper anyway. My computer's being so loud right now. Hope that's not interrupting the quality of my wonderful audio here. Alright, so let's say we want to do something environmental based. We do water shortage, okay? And say we want to focus on the current solutions that are happening. We're going to do strategies and effectiveness also, because those would be interesting for, say, what I want to write in my paper, see how effective the things we're doing now are and what they are. if you had an author and a title or anything, you could put that if you wanted to do kind of when it was done. You make sure the full text box is clicked though. And also I'm going to search for those words in my text, not just in the title. So I click that and then we search. So now we can look at this. Okay, signing climate solutions, sustainable water challenges, solutions for California. These are books, okay, but it does have the full PDF. We can see that, but we want to go over here. We want to limit it. So let's say we want a specific type of source, and for the assignment today, it's going to be important because some of them ask for magazines, some ask for journals, periodicals, things like that, newspapers. So you want to make sure you click these if it's for the assignment at least. We're going to look for academic journals for this, so it's going to update and just give me the search results from the academic journals. Alright, so now we have articles instead of full books. So drought resistance of cotton, water protection, and it bolds where it came up in our search. Predicting water shortage risk in China. So let's say we click on that. So it didn't have the PDF thing, but it said full text finder. So sometimes this works, but it doesn't always work. So if you click on the full text finder, it'll bring you here. Brought us to our title, but it isn't loading. So we go over. We're going to click the publisher site, and sometimes this will work for us, and sometimes it won't. And I'll show you why. So for this particular one, we get the abstract, which means it's kind of kind of like the book jacket version of an article, but you have to buy it, and we don't want to buy it for $40 because this is a paper for a class. So we'll go back, and that's not going to work for us. Sometimes it'll be free though, so it's worth looking at if it has the text finder icon. And as in the database Spring Nature Journals, we don't have that database, so we're going to move on and go back to our results list and pick a different article. Scroll down, we keep seeing those full texts. See some of them, if they say PDF full text, that's what the ones we want the most, because those are the ones that are easiest for us to access. Like I said, full text finder sometimes does work, but sometimes it's going to be like, yeah, you can have it if you want to pay all this money. Okay. Well, this one should let us see it. It's not loading. That could just be my internet connection, but see how it says PDF full text at the left over there. So that's what we want. My internet sucks, so I'm just going to download the PDF. Okay, I'm going to open it in a separate window, and then you can save it to your computer if you want to be able to reference it and not have to go look for it again. Or you can just keep it in the window. Wow, okay, there we go. So finally loaded. Like I said, it'll go faster if you have real internet. And then we get the full article here. Okay. And we would read that and look and see if there's anything in it we want to use. If not, and we don't want to use it, but we read it, we're going to put it on our works consulted list. If we use it, it goes on our works cited list also. Okay. So, oh, there, see, it loaded in that one too. So then we want to go, where is it? Yeah, so that brings us to our citation again, that little yellow one. We want to make sure, again, we scroll down, we find MLA. That's our citation. We copy, and we just put it on our works consulted list. This would actually probably be the first. It's an A. They will have to go in alphabetical order, but then you don't have to make the whole citations yourself, okay? All right, so something else I wanted to look at is opposing viewpoints. This one's going to be really helpful, especially for opposition research. Okay, so this is a little different. You didn't used to have to do this. So I know we have access to this. We're gonna just use our regular student library card ID, which is on the back of your student ID, that number at the barcode, and we're gonna type that into our mass library card section. Okay, so that worked. It let us in. So that should work with your stick ID too. Okay. So here we are on the opposing views page, and so it goes by topics that you can do. It just shows a few of them if you click on the bolded part. So there's 40 national debate topics. There's 338 society and culture topics, and at the top, issues of interest, or you can search for anything that you want here. Okay. But if you still don't know your topic, this is a good place to kind of just go look at things to maybe get an idea of what topic you might want to write about. A lot of hot button things in this section. So let's say we do student loans. Okay. So then we get their top one that they decide to highlight there. You can hit read more if you want it. Okay. And then feature viewpoints, you can click on that to get all 6 of them. And then it has viewpoints down there. It has academic journals in a separate. There's 85 of those on the topic. Primary sources, there's 2. References, there's 23. There's 15 videos. There's 12 images. Infographics, there's 2. There's 360 audio things on it. And 8,500 plus newspapers. There's magazines. There's websites, and then there's statistics. Okay, so it has them all organized for you by source type. So then it's like, okay, so where do I want to start? Do I want to do athletes, free college, helping low-income students? Sure, let's click on that one. Okay, then we get down here, we get the article commentary, and then we get the article underneath it. Okay, so you don't even need to click on the PDF thing for this, and then again you get that citation. It's already set for this one, MLA, and you would copy that and put it on your works consulted list. Okay, and then there's 5 more like this. So like, oh, I think I want to explore this topic. What else do they have here? And you can look at similar things that they've paired it with. You can go down a rabbit hole just like in YouTube. Again, for the assignment, for filling in the chart, having them divided by newspaper, magazine, academic journal is going to be helpful for you. Say I didn't have something to search and I just wanted to kind of get an idea. It's like, okay, well, fast fashion, that interests me. Again, they have the featured one. And we have our viewpoints, our reference. It's a little bit less available on this topic. Rent clothes is a viable alternative to fast fashion. Okay, maybe. Newspapers, anything in newspapers I want to look at. Statistics. So especially if you're looking for statistics, this is a pretty good place to go because you can just go right down to the stats and see what kind of numbers there are. So academic journal, say we want to do that. There's only one for this, so that would be an easy choice if I wanted to use that. Let's go to the viewpoints. That usually gives you the opposing and the for and true. So fashion is a problem. Fast fashion may have benefits. So it gives both sides. Sometimes it's more than 2, but it'll have at least one of each. Okay, and that's good for if you're like, well, what are the arguments against my point going to be? So that you can look at them and maybe address them in your paper if you think that's necessary, which is probably will be for your paper. Alright, so we're back at our home page for searching, our library homepage. Also, if you get stuck, the librarians are there for school hours, so call them. So let's click on journals instead of databases this time. So we want to look at individual journals instead of just a database that's going to bring us kind of the search results for everything. Again, it's broken down into different topics. So let's do alternative medicine for this one. So we've got some acupuncture here. Again, remember these say the full text access under them, but they don't have the PDF link, so they may work. And they may take you to page that's like, hey, give me $80. And don't pay $80. Don't pay even $1, okay? Only use free sources for this. If you're getting your master's or something, maybe you'd want to spend the money, but say we want to limit it down, okay? Want to see all the things. Acupuncture, how much is there for that? Only 1. So we don't want to, maybe that's not a good topic for us to be looking for in here. So let's look at herbs and medicinal plants. That has 7. And so that'll bring us to 7 journals that are about it, okay? And then these will have different articles within them. These are just the titles of journals, and then you go to the journal and you can look at the different articles within the journals, okay? Okay, so home brings us back to our library page. Let's see, like say I wanted an ebook on it. So I will go to the Gutenberg. The Project Gutenberg has lots and lots of books. So if you wanted to look for full books on things, do this. Or if you just want to read free book, you're stuck in quarantine and you have a book you've been meaning to read, you can see if it's free here. So we're going to do a basic search. Go to the search bar. By the way, my cursor isn't usually this big. I did it for the video. So say we still wanted to do acupuncture. We couldn't find any real journals on it, so we're really interested in it. So like, let's see what books we can get for free. Ebooks. So we got one. So not a lot of information out there. If you're only coming up with this short of things, so you click on read HTML, that'll give you the basic and it'll give you the whole book. But if you're getting very few sources like this, you probably want to reconsider your topic, either to include more than that or just kind of go somewhere else, just because I don't want you to get frustrated with the research requirements. All right, and this would be all the information you would need for your citation, okay? Your copyright and your author, etc. It's also in the book, but go back to everything. That searches again, the articles, the books, the journals, the databases, everything. So let's do one more. So I search Titanic. I have full text click there. And so I want newspapers, and that's going to be important for the chart, and it's also, depending on what your topic is, you may want to see what was happening in the news, what was being reported about a topic or an event, okay? You can check the publication year, so if I was doing the Titanic, I would want something probably more earlier than what's available to me here, since it happened in like 1922, I think, and these only go back to 1979. Okay. You can also search for the other things in here. So say I wanted primary source documents. Okay, we covered primary source, and then going beyond those, the primary sources are those main ones, right? So these are all still newspapers, though. And make sure you pay attention to the dates. So this is this was published in 2020. Probably not going to be what I want for a historic event. So let's try something more relevant that would fall in our criteria. So let's say we wanted to look up something about 9/11. We don't know what we want to research yet, but we know we want to write something about 9/11. So we'd search that, newspapers, go click our newspapers, and go to our publication. Go to our publication date. Obviously 1970 is not going to have anything we want related to this, so we'll go to 2001. There we go. It's not going to let me move that one. No, it has to update that one first. So now it's 2001 to 2020. So if I want stuff from just when it happened, I'm going to go scroll in. So say 2002. We'll start there and see what we get. So now we have things only from 2001, 2002 that were published in newspapers. Okay. And there's still like 25,000 of them. Okay. These all seem to be 2002, so so this could bring us more subject things. So we want news, opinion, and commentary. Say we want to just like the news reporting of what happened right afterwards. So click that. What does that bring us down to? Still in a lot of 2002. So let's just criteria 2001. You don't have to slide it. You can type the years in. So wait for that to update. Okay, so now we have 2001 publications. The first one's November. So these seem to be November, then we have an October, and then we have September 12th there. So that's going to be one of the first ones. So say we want to see what one of the first reportings was on it. We'll click that. Again, it doesn't say PDF. It has that full text finder thing on it again, though. So we click that. And then we look at where it's located. We know that we have some of these. We know we have Gale General 1 file in our databases, so we know we'll be able to access it there. And so it brings us to it in the database that we have through our school. And we click on the title, and then it brings us to the paper article. So we have our author, our date, publication, then we have the full article here. And then we have our citation down at the bottom. Make sure it's clicked on MLA, which it is, and you can copy and paste that onto your works consulted list and works citation if you're going to end up using it in your paper. A lot of them will open them in different windows, so just make sure that you're saving anything that you want so you don't lose something that you found and you're like, oh, this is perfect, and then you never find it again, because I've been there and it sucks.